And, there was a moment where I was playing defense against Cade, and he went to the hole, and I got elbowed in the face, like the first possession.
Flagrant elbow.
So that was, a welcome to NBA moment.
What's up, Piston fans? This your boy, Flagrant Elbow, back with another one. The Detroit Pistons played the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Cleveland comes in 13-6. They improved to 13-7 tonight. The Pistons dropped to 5-17, losing the game 102-94. Tough game tonight for the Pistons. A lot of things we can take away from this game. Even though it was a loss, there's still some reasons to be optimistic and some good things that we saw out of this depleted team who are missing a lot of its starters. So we're going to go ahead and get to some of that, get into my player of the game and my conclusion on the whole matter of this game, even though it was a loss later on in the video. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for continuing to check out your boy Flagrant Elbow. We got 631 subscribers. If you are new listening, check out, hit the subscribe button and become a subscriber. Takes a second to do, and it really helps out the channel. And also hit the like button as well. Piston fans, we've really been looking for this team to take off. Thought this year was going to be the year for them to show some big improvements, and there's a lot of good things we can continue to take away. They are steadily improving. So we're going to get into all of that, talking about that this game. After this game, there's a lot of good we can take from it. So with that being said, don't forget to check the description. The merch link is in the description. Get your merchandise, Pistons versus everybody, and hope you enjoy that. Also, remember, anything purchased, I will receive a commission on it. It helps out the channel as well. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into this video. Yeah, the Pistons lost this game. It was a good game, a tough one. I really felt that these Pistons were in control of the whole game, and this was a game that they honestly could have won. This is one of those games they could have won. Now, should they have won? Well, we'll just stick with they could have won. Cleveland is a much better talented team than Detroit right now, and this is a game that the Pistons could have won. They let one slip away again in the fourth quarter. So looking at some of the team stats, field goal wise, the Pistons were 45%. On 3-pointers, they were 28%, shot 8 of 28 of them. Free throws, they missed free throws badly. In my opinion, they only shot 14 of 26, and I think that right there was the downfall in this game. Total rebounds, they had 36 total rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds. Cleveland had 41 offensive rebounds. Both teams had 14 assists. Pistons did have 6 blocks and 9 steals. 13 turnovers though, and they scored off of those turnovers. I think it was 20 something off those turnovers. So that kind of affected the team negatively, because that is what they scored 22 points off the Pistons scored 22 points off of their turnovers. They scored 13 points off of the Pistons turnovers. So that kind of affected the team. You look at the fast points in the paint. Pistons had 54 points in the paint to their 50. And the largest lead, Pistons had them down by 12 at one point, and Cleveland had us down by 9 at one point. So the disparity with the free throw, they shot 28 for 33. They shot 84%. We shot 14 for 26 and only shot 53% from free throw. And that 12 points could have been the difference in this game big time. So this is a game they could have got. But like I said, those free throws did us in. Those free throws did us in come crunch time, because you look at the players, some of their stats, just based off free throws. Corey Joseph missed 3. He was 0 for 3. And Hamidou Diallo was 1 for 4. Bagley was 6 for 8. Everybody else missed maybe 1 free throw. Livers was 2 for 3. Bay was 2 for 3. Killer Hayes didn't shoot any free throws. Kevin Knox didn't shoot any free throws. Duran was 1 of 2. So it just was a bad free throw shooting night for everybody, the whole team. Could have been based off of maybe fatigue. And then, other than that, it's just guys just was missing free throws. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So this was definitely a game that I felt the Pistons had control of all the way down into the final 6 minutes. The final 6 minutes of the game, I think that fatigue might have set in. They had a rough West Coast trip. Maybe fatigue set in for them, but whatever it was, they unraveled. And the thing about it is, to lose the way the Pistons did, to lose like this, and you only were down. You had 4 starters not even playing. The Pistons had 4 starters not playing. The whole game was played by bench players except for Bay. Bench players. Well, Bagley's been starting too. But for the most part, it's been bench players out there. So to see that, the toughness, the grit, that's a good positive you could take from this game. This is a game, like I said, the Pistons weren't expected to win this game. They got blew out by, 30-something points the first game they played this season. So there has been improvements, and this is the bench squad, basically, that's going out there and being scrappy like that. Livers had 3 block shots. Bagley had 1. Bay had 1. Hayes had 1. 3 block shots. Bagley had 3 steals. Livers had 1. Bay had 2. Hayes had 2. Hamidou Diallo had 1. So they were really scrappy. Now, one thing they didn't get a lot of was assists. They got 14 assists, but the Pistons struggle when that ball's not moving. Pistons struggle when that ball's not moving. But on the positive aspect, look, these boys were scrappy. They showed a lot of grit. They showed defensive intensity, and when they showed that, they kept the game in control. Had a lead at halftime, a 5-point lead at halftime, and they were just in control of the game. That fourth quarter is when things unraveled. Cleveland took over 29 points in the fourth quarter to Detroit 16. Mitchell got his 30 points that he's been averaging. He got 32, but they held Garland to 19 points. He was 4 of 19, so the defense was locking him down. A lot of times, Livers was switching out on him, and he was being locked down. So it was some good things you could see. Mobley he dropped 20 points, so he was still doing his thing. Had 13 rebounds. But the team all together, man, Bagley led the team in scoring with 19. Right behind him was Burks with 17. Then Hayes had 16. He shot a couple threes that went in and looked good. His form is steadily improving. This was Bay's first game back after injury. He was a little rusty starting off, but then he started off strong. But as the game went on, shots stopped falling for him. He had 15 points, and Hayes also had 8 assists. So that was huge for Killer Hayes. So that was nice. And then Duran only got 1 point tonight. Played 20 minutes. He was struggling a little bit. He did get 6 rebounds, 1 assist. But maybe fatigue was a factor. I think the whole squad, as that game went on, they just looked drowsier and drowsier. Joseph was out there. He got 10 points. Like I said, he missed all 3 of his free throws, which was huge. And Diallo missed 3 free throws, so that's 6 points right there that could have got the team within 2, or kept them within 2. And if everybody else would have made their free throws, they could have won this game. So, like I said, the Pistons had control of the game the whole time, man. And stat-wise, that's what went on. The bench came in there, not much production today off the bench. Not much production at all from them. Duran, like I said, Duran didn't have that good of a game, but Joseph and Burks did score in double digits. But Knox only got 3 points in 17 minutes. He only got 3 points. So the bench struggled, but then again, all the bench players were starting for the most part. A lot of the bench players, so I'm not too upset about that. Player of the game for me was Marvin Bagley. Bags played 28 minutes. He even dropped a 3-pointer. Got to the free throw line 8 times. So he was being aggressive. He was putting the ball the ball on the floor and trying to get to the basket. A lot of times when Mobley was playing him, he was putting that ball on the floor trying to get to the basket. So he was aggressive, even on the defensive end with those 3 steals and a block shot. Bagley was aggressive, and each game it seems as if he's getting a lot more comfortable and playing with a lot more energy. One thing Bagley and Bay both have that I like is good footwork around the basket. Good footwork around the basket. And I like to see that from those guys out there. But he led the team with a double-double, 19 points, 10 boards, and like I said, 3 assists on the block. Defensive intensity was high. And they started the game off strong like that. They kept Cleveland with just 20 points in the first quarter, 22 in the third. And Cleveland, I think they're averaging more than what they scored tonight, so we held them under their average. And it took them late in the fourth to break past 100. Final seconds of the game to break past 100. So the Pistons' defensive intensity was there for most of the game. Most of the game it was there. So I applaud them for that. Like I always say, defensive intensity will keep you in the game and will give you a chance to win. I do not care about what kind of talent you're playing against or what kind of talent or lack thereof you have. And tonight was an example of that. Now, Cleveland had some players missing, but defensive intensity kept them in the game. So Marvin Bagley was the player of the game. And as by way of conclusion, some of the things that I was just saying, the defensive intensity was there. But the thing about it is this with this game, Cleveland is a much better team than the Detroit Pistons. If you looked at the starting lineups for both teams, there's no way in the world you think the Detroit Pistons going to win this game with Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Livers, Sadiq Bey, Killian Hayes, and Rodney McGruder. Our players, our starters tonight, they're talented. They're very talented. But when you look at the starters that Cleveland has in their record, there's no way you're expecting the Detroit Pistons to be this close in that game, to have a chance to win this game like they did. So I'm not that upset about the Pistons losing this game at all. It's a lot of games they're going to lose, and they're going to be close to in a lot of games like they have. And I think the last few games they played outside of this one, they've lost for, I think the last 6 games they played, maybe the last 8 games they played, they lost by a combined, I think, less than 20 points. So when you got a team that's doing that, and when your stats are looking that good, when your team is hustling like that, then their last 8 losses have been less than 10 points, not a combined. Their last 8 losses have been by less than 10 points. That's huge. So the Pistons are learning something. Starting off getting blew out by 20 and 30. Now they're keeping games close and losing by less than 10. That shows progress, especially in a situation like we had today where most of our starters were out. So I'm not upset that they lost. I just want to see competitive basketball. I just want to see defensive intensity and competitive basketball, and we'll see how it goes in the end. And this was one of those games that the Pistons just let slip away. I can't argue about personnel too much because we have no personnel right now. Personnel is depleted, but I do think that fatigue may have been a factor in this game. So hopefully as we start getting our players back, that will help us moving forward to grab a few more wins. But for right now, they're playing competitive basketball. That's all you can ask for right now. So I wouldn't be too upset with this loss. They lost against a good team. So far, teams that they should be beating, they seem to be beating them. And teams that they shouldn't be beating, they seem to be beating them too, like they did on the West Coast, the 2 back-to-back games. So the Pistons are showing some promise. They're showing some grit, that scrappiness, defensive intensity, and they're doing a lot of things. They just got to keep those turnovers down. Keep the turnovers down, and they got to hit those free throws. And everything else will fall in line. So that's my take on the game. Like I said, my player of the game was Marvin Bagley, finished with a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds. So that's all I got for this game. Tuesday, Detroit Pistons played the New York Knicks. We lost to the New York Knicks last game, so it's going to be interesting to see how things turn out this game when Detroit plays the Knicks. So that's something to look forward to. If the last time they played the Knicks, they lost 121 to 112. So that's going to be interesting to watch how that turns out this next game. I think the Pistons should be able to get them, but you never know. You never know. So we'll just have to see how that goes. That last game, who was it that lit us up? That last game we played them. Oh yeah, R.J. Barrett got off. He had 30 points. Jalen Brunson had 26 points the last time we played him. So Randall had 21. So we're going to see how things shape up for this next game that we play against New York. It's going to be interesting. It's a game I'm looking forward to seeing, and hopefully we can get a couple of those starters back. If not, then we'll just have to keep rolling with what we got. But as long as they're playing with defensive intensity, they give themselves a chance to win. So that's all that I have today for this game. Once again, thank you all for checking out the video, for subscribing. Don't be too down on yourself or the team. This is a game I don't think nobody thought that we would even be this close to winning or have a chance to win, and we basically controlled the whole game, except for those last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter and those missed free throws. So the scrappiness and defensive intensity was there. So that's all we got. Once again, thank everyone for checking it out. 631 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share in the comments how you feel about the game. Are you upset? Are you mad? Or do you just see this as another lesson for the team and appreciate and like the progress that they're continuing to show and make so far? So with that being said, that's all I want to say. Check out the merch link in the description for the merch. I will receive a commission for anything purchased. It does support the channel. That's it. With that being said, everybody, stay safe.